Good morning, Meshach. It is Thursday, February 2nd, and assuming everything goes to plan, as you're watching this, I'll be already on a flight to Chicago, where I will be seeing my family, eating as much good food as I possibly can, and terrorizing my cat, who is the living embodiment of anger and destruction. But before I do that, I wanted to talk to you guys all quickly about risk-taking. Anyone that knows me in person will know that I'm a pretty risk-averse guy. I like to stick to what I know. High-risk, high-reward decisions have never appealed to me, and I prefer incremental improvements rather than like huge life-altering changes. But over the years, I've realized the limitations of that thought process. I think that for a long time, I've played my life safer than it needs to be played. So in recent years, I've been pushing back against that inclination, that risk-averse nature of mine. For example, in August, I moved to DC, which was a huge risk. I accepted a job with a company that I didn't really know much about, in a department that I really didn't know much about. I moved to a place where I knew no one, didn't know how the streets work, and at a time when I had never paid bills before, had never consistently paid for my own groceries, hadn't had like a 40-hour work week job, and I did it all with like 2 weeks notice. From time of accepting the job to moving out of Chicago, I had like 14 days. That was definitely a risk. There was a chance of failure. Life involves a certain amount of baseline risk that just like can't be avoided. But from that baseline point of risk, you can like opt into more or less. And as you opt into more, you know, it gets more dangerous on both sides. You have higher potential, but also like lower lows. And I think that my fear of the lower lows has dissuaded me from going for the higher highs. But I think that fear of the lower lows is unwarranted. The possibility still exists, but I think the chances are so much lower until obviously you're taking like actual big irresponsible risks. Coming out to DC was a risk, but it was a calculated one. It made perfect sense. It's not like a fluke that it worked out. People do crazy, irresponsible, impractical things all the time, and they also work out all the time. Now, I'm not saying that I or you should be crazy or impractical, but I am trying to remind you and me that calculated risks are not just acceptable, they're often optimal. They're the root of a ton of enjoyment. Some of my favorite memories from college came as a direct result of huge risks that I took. For example, going to college in the first place was a pretty big risk. I was going far from family, but also like traveling to West Virginia in the first 2 months of being at college with my car that was only sometimes working. Or going to Michigan with all my friends when my car wasn't working. Part of the reason I'm thinking about this at all is because earlier today I received my LSAT score. And it wasn't incredible or anything, but it was definitely good enough that I could get into some good schools if I wanted to. And I realized that that means at some point I'm gonna have to make the decision to leave this all again. Leave this place, and leave my work, and leave all the comforts I'm slowly developing to go try something new again. And it's all just gonna kind of get knocked down. And I don't want to do that. That's risky. I so much prefer the comfort of this coziness. But I don't. I tell myself that I do, but in the end, I think that the risks pay off, and you just have to take them at certain points in your life, and now is the time to do it. I don't want to be looking at this video 20 years down the line and thinking, boy, if only he took that advice seriously. Boy, if only he took the chances that were necessary to improve his life, genuinely. So I don't care if it means moving again to a strange city and being alone and all the bad things that could happen with a big risk like going to law school. So this year I'm going to try my best to take more calculated risks, and you guys should all do the same. Take the trip, send the text, take the leap of faith that is necessary to improve your life. It is super easy to get caught up and comfortable. It is much harder to trust yourself and your judgment to make the right call. One thing that you can do that's awesome but not risky is smash that like button and smash that subscribe button and share this channel with a friend and leave your comments in the comment section down below. I can't wait to be home for the weekend, and I can't wait to see you guys all next time. Meshach, Schmackers, I'll see you on Thursday. Or possibly Monday? Oh, Jesus.